Marzano, Pickering, and Pollock's book, Classroom Instruction That Works, asserts that there are three elements in effective pedagogy: instructional strategies, management techniques, and curriculum design. One important part of classroom management is establishing expectations with students. This video will review 4 components of setting clear expectations for students in a one-to-one classroom. It is most helpful to list expectations as behaviors. In this video, we will highlight teachers who set the purpose for learning, communicate guidelines for technology use, encourage self-direction, and broadcast student work. One of the key practices in this method is to set a distinct purpose for learning at the start of each lesson. A teacher in a technology-rich classroom can use a variety of tools to set the lesson objectives and give students well-defined direction for the class session that day.
Okay, so as you can see, your DMA is up on the board. As a side note, remember you need to get your new OneNote tab. So go ahead and log into Moodle. And if you look under Chapter 9, you will see that you will get a new OneNote tab. Once that's inserted into your OneNote, then you can answer your DMA. The order that we're going through is just our regular E order. So today we're going to be starting on the Engage, and we're going to be working our way through the Explore, Explain, Elaborate, and Evaluate. But today we're just going to be doing Company Policy, which is our Engage. And so the key idea for today is that genetically altering food poses many ethical considerations. The activity that we'll be doing today is we're going to look at an ad.
I think it's pretty helpful when a teacher puts an objective on the board because it gives you something to get done that day. Because usually if you walk into a class, you're pretty clueless. The teacher is supposed to help you out. So then putting that objective gives you a goal to reach by the end of class. So then you can say you got something done.
Materials and equipment are critical to a teaching and learning environment. Schools and individual teachers often begin the school year by reviewing the rules and procedures surrounding correct use of these materials. In the past, we have told students not to write in their textbooks, damage their calculators, or take food into the computer lab. In a one-to-one classroom in which students are spending most of their time on their own school-issued laptop, these rules and procedures still apply. Research indicates that technology's use in the classroom can have an additional positive influence on student learning when the learning goals are clearly articulated prior to the technology's use. Because the way technology is used may change from lesson to lesson, it is important for the teacher to communicate expectations around appropriate use of the technology on a daily basis.
Class, welcome. Thank you guys for quietly entering. As you're coming in, you'll want to log on to Wikispaces. Your username should be your first initial, last name, graduation year. You'll want to join the appropriate class number. For this class, it will be class period number 4. Remember, you are going to read the article, write a post, and you'll want to read other people's posts and respond appropriately to those posts. Also remember that I go back at the end of class and review those posts and grade those posts and what you put on Wikispaces. So make sure that your content is appropriate and educationally acceptable.
In a one-to-one classroom, students have the world at their fingertips. Technology can allow teachers to differentiate for all types of learners and give students choice, which increases student engagement and motivation. Technology can give students more control over their learning, which tends to move these classrooms from a teacher-dominated environment to a student-centered one. There are consistent findings that the successful integration of technology can be especially effective with at-risk and special needs students.
I think you see it's kind of a strange thing in reality. I think when they start asking me, can I do this? Can I try that? Especially with project-based learning, they start to get excited. And it's one thing just to see the excitement in their eyes and see them, kind of buzzing with what they're going to do, but then they start to think, oh, could I try this? Could I try that? Could we go to interview this person? Or could we go to film at this place? Or can I do this kind of thing? And they start to think outside the box. I think that's one way that I can see kids getting engaged in the projects that we do in my class.
What I like to do, I like to actually present stuff. I like to speak out, do research on interesting topics. What I don't like to do, usually when he picks something for you and you have to do it, I'd rather like to do things in my own way.
The Turning Points Transforming Middle Schools report includes a protocol on reviewing student work samples because of its powerful application in the classroom. Looking at student work is a process in which students and teachers look at student and/or teacher work with the goal of improving student learning. To structure the process and create a safe, caring environment, teachers use a protocol to facilitate the conversation. A protocol is a structured format with a set schedule and specific guidelines for communication among participants. This entire process can be facilitated through technology. Using threaded discussion boards, journals, and other instructional tools, students can view and give feedback to work samples from not only their own classes, but from anyone in the world.
It's helpful to me to see other students' work because it helps me get a better feel of how my work should be and how it should look like.
I can compare it and notice things that I didn't see before. And even for future projects, I can say, wow, I like the way they did this, and incorporate that into what I want to do. Or if I notice something not so great, then I can just say, wow, I'll make sure I don't do that whenever.
We like to show all the students examples because we think that we can learn from them. As we're doing our VizFest movie making, we start off with a 30-second commercial, and so all the kids do the 30-second commercial, and we watch everybody's. And quite often, they're not very good, but the kids are able to see what they did well, what others did well, but more importantly, what didn't work so well. And so we learn a lot from watching all the samples, and we do it, on kind of a weekly basis.
Yeah, it helps to see the work in progress because then you know how you're supposed to get there, not just what it's supposed to be.
Because what I do is take some of those ideas in hand, morph it, and then add some more of my own ideas to make it a spectacular piece.
It's a learning moment for all of us, and we just want to stay positive and make sure that we don't hurt anybody's feelings, because sometimes even if they're not finished with a product, we show it anyway. They're like, oh please Mr. Wood, it's not finished. Hey, it's okay. Maybe we're learning that we need to plan a little differently so that our product is finished. So there's always something to learn.
It just helped to see the steps that we can take to accomplish our goal of finishing the project.
Whether the teacher involves students in developing the rules or whether pre-written expectations are presented, a teacher who establishes reasonable expectations, who provides an understandable rationale, and who enforces the expectations consistently will find that students are willing to follow them. After a class has expectations in place, the teacher should treat expectations like any other academic subject by developing a plan for teaching the expectations. Remember that expectations work best when written as behaviors. In this video, we have seen students learning from others, working toward the lesson's goals, using technology appropriately, and becoming involved in learning. These are all examples of positive behaviors that are direct consequences of clearly taught classroom expectations. If time allows, complete the activity that accompanies this video titled Developing Classroom Expectations.